Tonight, we break down the latest news in the NFL, the NBA, and more. Yesterday, San Francisco Giants and Oakland Athletics fans came together, standing side by side with one another, with one mission in mind: to unite the Bay. Sell the team. It's showtime.
From the gridiron to the court, talking all that is sport, breaking down the latest news, scores, and more. Welcome to our Nation Sports Show.
Oh yeah, it's Wednesday. You know what that means right now. We are live for another edition of our Nation Sports Show live here on YouTube. Right now, I am going solo at this point. I am your host for this evening, Stephen Wyand. And joining me tonight will be our very own Joseph Thornton. He will be joining us here in the next couple of minutes. But before we get to tonight's episode here on our Nation Sports Show, talking about the world of sports, we got to plug the social media platforms. Up first on Twitter at @ON_sports show. Facebook.com/Nation Sports Show. And where we are live right now on a special Wednesday edition of our Nation Sports Show, YouTube.com/our Nation Sports Show, where we are live mostly every Tuesday nights and sometimes like tonight on Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern, but at this time, 6:30, because we are going to go live a little early. After that is AEW Dynamite live tonight. And we are live normally, like I said, on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, 4 p.m. Pacific time. And don't forget to follow the Nation's Corner on Twitter at Nation's Corner. Everywhere else on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, it is at the Nation's Corner. And folks, tonight we have an action-packed show just for all of you guys out there in YouTube land, in sports land, that all follow sports. And with that being said, we're going to get to tonight's episode, and I'll go ahead and set the table on this one, because there's kind of a theme to this week's episode, and that is this week in the NFL and the NBA, some players got paid. And when I say paid, I mean big time money, big time fat, PHAT contracts, if you will. And Justin Herbert for the Los Angeles Chargers has signed a 5-year deal that is worth $262.5 million. And you heard me right, folks. I did not stutter like Bubba Ray Dudley back in the WWF and ECW days. $262.5 million. Justin Herbert signed on the dotted line with the LA Chargers, making him the highest paid player in NFL history, especially when it comes to quarterbacks. I mean, good Lord, that's a lot of money. Lot of money. Money. Yes, Justin Herbert got paid big time. Pocket full of change. And this goes on in the lines as far as, you know, like Lamar Jackson getting his contract early on this year. At one point, he was the highest paid player in NFL as far as quarterbacks. And now Justin Herbert can lay his name on the dotted line that he is the most highest paid player in quarterbacks for NFL history. And I mean, look, when you look at this deal in the long run, Is it worth it? Maybe. Because, I mean, Justin Herbert, ever since he's been drafted in 2020, he has been the quarterback of the Los Angeles Chargers, and he has become the de facto leader, taking over Phillip Rivers' days with the San Diego/LA Chargers all those years. And obviously preceding Phillip Rivers was the great Drew Brees. But Justin Herbert is a great quarterback. He is young. He is poised. He has the arm strength. He has the weapons, to throw the football. I mean, he's got Keenan Allen still. He's a veteran. And ladies and gentlemen, just getting started and joining us better than ever. He's a Washington Commanders football fan. He is a wrestling fan. And he is an Atlanta Braves fan. He is the one and only Joey Thornton. What's going on, pal?
What is going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having an amazing Wednesday. And yes, I know it's Wednesday instead of Tuesday, and I know I said I wasn't going to be on the show last week, but like I said, that's when the show was still on Tuesday. But it's a Wednesday. I'm here. We got a little bit of sports to talk about, so let's go.
And with that being said, I got to do my classic referee. Pass interference. Roughing the passer. On number 22. That's a 15-yard penalty. Spot of the foul. Automatic. First down.
It's about that time of year where we're going to be hearing calls like that.
Yes, it is. And with that being said, I was just talking about, Joey, how Justin Herbert is getting this massive deal with the Los Angeles Chargers, and $262.5 million Herbert has signed with the Chargers. And I mean, I was just kind of talking about how, is this deal worth it? I mean, in certain ways, yes, but in some ways, no, because in some ways, yes, he is the one that has preceded Phillip Rivers, and he has been consistent for the most part, with the LA Chargers. And, he's had some good numbers, the last 3 seasons, but he hasn't gone very far, in the postseason, including now he's a part of history, as the Chargers, obviously, as we know, last year choked away a 27-0 lead against the Jacksonville Jaguars in that wild card game. I mean, he will be a part of history and playoff history as one of the teams that has blown a double-digit lead like that. That seems so hard to come from behind and win. But getting back to the contract, I mean, Herbert, joins the list of who's who have signed contracts like this, like Lamar Jackson, getting that huge payday with the Baltimore Ravens. And we said on this show that, look, I mean, we understand that, Lamar, he is the only answer, to the Ravens getting success. But at the same time, he got what he wanted. But here's the biggest thing, and as well as I know, Lamar Jackson, like Justin Herbert, has not done nothing when it matters in the playoffs, winning a championship. So with that being said, Joey, what are your thoughts on Justin Herbert's contract with the Los Angeles Chargers?
Well, the contract itself, I think Justin Herbert deserves it. I mean, he deserves the contract itself because he is a great quarterback for the Chargers. But as far as the amount of money he got on that contract, I don't know if he's actually worth that much. And going back to what you said about the playoff game, I wouldn't say that's on Justin Herbert. I would say that's more on the head coach, because when you have a head coach like Brandon Staley, who has a history of choking whenever it matters the most, I mean, what more can you expect? I mean, granted, Brandon Staley is a good coach. I will give him that, because trust me, you alongside Ezra, Kevin, Randy, HiJacker, Tony Justice, anybody else who watches football has seen our share of bad coaches among various organizations, have we not?
Yes, we have. I mean, when you look at all the head coaches across the board, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Dan Quinn's decent, but he wasn't a great coach for the Falcons in the long run. I mean, come on. Who the hell chokes away a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl? He did. Jason Garrett for the Dallas Cowboys.
I mean, going back to that, I mean, Brendan Staley, he is a good coach. I will give him that. He does know how to coach the Chargers and get them to a spot where they want to be, which is basically towards the bottom of the playoffs, which may not seem like much, but at least he knows how to guide his players to the playoffs. But at the same time, it's all about staying in the playoffs if you want to be that legendary head coach someday. It's about keeping your players together, keeping them in the playoffs, leading that charge in the playoff picture once the playoffs rolls around. And that, excuse me, that is where Brendan Staley has the most trouble. Because, yeah, he is a part of a conference that has great quarterbacks such as your Josh Allens, your Joe Burrows, and your Patrick Mahomes. I get that. I do. But at the same time, it's not like you need to just throw in a towel when times are going to get tough. Because times are going to get tough no matter where you go to play, even if it's on your home field. Because like I said several weeks ago, no matter what the stats may look like on paper for two teams standing on the opposite ends of the field, everybody has a 50% chance of winning.
Exactly.
Whether you're the home team or whether you're the road team. And Brendan Staley, to me, it just, even though he may not ever come out and say it, because trust me, he's not, because it's pretty much against the law as a head coach to say that you're afraid of other teams, but I generally think he's afraid. Yes. I generally think he is afraid of teams such as the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Bengals, and I get it. I get it. Those three teams are elite right now. They are. So I can understand why he may not want to, I would say, finish the charge once you get your team where it wants to be in the playoffs. But at the same time, like I just mentioned, you don't want to throw in a towel when times are tough. You don't want to just give up altogether.
Right. I mean, exactly. I mean, because Brandon Staley, as we all know, like this past season, he was out doing it himself. He was, you know, he was out trying to out Falcon the Falcons at times. He was just doing all sorts of stuff to put himself into trouble. And he put Herbert and his team against the Jaguars in this great predicament to win the game, you know, in blowout fashion. But his coaching decisions in that playoff game in the second half reeked of absolute garbage. It was horrible coaching that Brandon Staley, you know, showed during that second half against Jacksonville. I mean, running the ball, I believe it was 7 times in that second half. That is inexcusable. 7 times with Austin Eckler as your star running back.
I was about to say that is very inexcusable, especially when you have one of the best elite running backs in the AFC right now in Austin Eckler. I mean, yeah, you were up 27-0, but that doesn't mean you should automatically go to the back to the passing game. I mean, one of the main philosophies of a smart head coach is the fact that it doesn't matter what type of lead your team has, it's your team's job, which means it's your job to make sure you maintain that lead, no matter what you try to do, especially if you have a lead like 27-0. Start burning some clock. Hand the ball off. Don't just rely on the passing game all the time. And that is what killed the Chargers, because Jacksonville, they have an up-and-coming defense. So they were like, well, golly, now that they're up 27-0, they're going to start running the ball and burning some clock. Wrong. They were still passing the ball, and Jacksonville was like, well, you know what? they're still going to try to pass the ball. So let's try to up our secondary and our pass coverage a little bit, and maybe we can get back in this game. And that's exactly what happened. Until eventually, Los Angeles choked as usual, and Jacksonville was able to move on to the next round.
Well, I was going to add to that. I'm glad you said San Diego, and then you corrected yourself because, as we all know, what the old saying goes, and like Tree has said on his YouTube videos, and like we have said on this show, me, you, Ezra, Kevin, and Randy have said, you can take San Diego, you can take the San Diego out of the Chargers, but you can't take the Chargers out of San Diego. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's just absolutely
ridiculous.
I mean, this is ugly. And I'm glad that Herbert got his money, because as we all know, unlike Dak Prescott, he is worth the money that he is getting because he has proven success on the field for the most part, consistent wise, as far as putting up good numbers. But where he is failing to do so is in the playoffs, and that is because predominantly of Brandon Staley keeping this team held down. So Herbert got what he wanted, a big time deal. And this is right up there, with Mahomes, because Mahomes, as we all know, in 2021, in 2020, he set the precipice of what quarterbacks are getting paid now. But the differences between Mahomes just got a 11, 12-year deal worth $500+ million, but he's only earning $30+ million guaranteed a season. But that's why.
Yeah.
That is why.
That right there just tells you, like I mentioned last week about Travis Kelce's comment, how he doesn't care about making money. He just wants to win.
Exactly. Because what Mahomes sees is winning. That's all he cares about. That's all Travis Kelce has said he cares about is winning. Look, you can screw the money. We don't need the money. We want the championships. And they got their second championship in 4 years. So that's the difference between Patrick Mahomes and everybody else. Because Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, all they want is money.
Exactly.
Money first, and then everything else second.
Exactly. And that's not how you're supposed to be a professional athlete. You're supposed to help your team win no matter how much you get paid, whether it's $1, $100,
exactly,
$10,000, $1 million. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. Now, I will say, moving on, or actually, go ahead and finish, Steven. So, and I'm not saying that Josh Allen and these guys don't care about winning, because that's why they're in this sport, and that's why they want to do is win. But a lot of these players, their mentality is, a lot of them is, give me the money, and then their mindset goes elsewhere, because that's what they are, and that's how a lot of them think. Now, I think that Burrow and Allen, are the rarest of rare breeds of quarterbacks, because, they have the talent and they may care about the money. But actually, I think that, if you would have gave Allen that kind of contract, maybe his focus would have gone away at times. I don't know. Joe Burrow seems to be cool under pressure, but I don't know. It's hard, but I honestly think that if I think they care about the money. I really do.
I honestly think they do too. But moving on to another contract that has made headlines this week. Apparently, the New York Giants still do not get the message.
Nope.
They still do not get the message as to what we predominantly talked about last week. And that is giving a running back a long-term contract who so rightfully deserves it. And if they think that inking Saquon Barkley to a 1-year, $11 million deal, which is, may I remind you, not even $1 million above what his franchise tag was worth, and think that's a long-term deal, no. It will not surprise me if Saquon Barkley takes his talents to another team next year, because apparently the Giants just do not want to give him that long-term contract that he deserves. And I know that they have the cap space. They just want to invest it in Daniel Jones.
Yes, I agree.
which I think is stupid. But speaking of ridiculous contracts, let's switch gears a little bit to the NBA because a certain someone from the Boston Celtics named Jalen Brown got a very ridiculous contract.
And before we get to that,
5 years.
I want to shout out real quick. Derpy Entertainment, what's going on? First time here in the chat. What's going on? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the chat.
What's up? What's up?
And he agrees. And he agrees with us. He agrees with us that team over money. Because Mahomes is a golden standard. Of that. But yeah, go ahead with this ridiculous contract. And I got a bone to pick with this contract. Go ahead.
Yes, I mean 5 years, $304 million supermax contract extension. What? You're telling me that Jalen Brown, who is not even that consistent in the regular season and is known as a choke artist in the playoffs, you are saying that he is worth a $304 million supermax contract extension? No. That has got to be one of the worst investments that the Boston Celtics organization has ever done to one of its players. And keep in mind, Jalen Brown, heading into the offseason, was not even the second best player on that Celtics team. I mean, I would put Jason Tatum for sure, and even though he's not on the Celtics anymore, I would put Marcus Smart over Jalen Brown because those two were actually playmakers. Those two actually knew how to organize or originate that team chemistry that Boston said they had. But Jalen Brown, he was nowhere near the picture. So what makes them think that he is worth a $304 million supermax contract extension? And Steven, you said that you had a bone to pick with this contract, so go ahead. The floor is yours, buddy.
This contract is complete ridiculous. Jalen Brown in the last year and a half plus, especially in the postseason, has been up and down. Especially in the finals last year. Jason Tatum at times last year in the NBA Finals against the Golden State Warriors was not consistent. He was turning the ball over, making ridiculous decisions. And it was up to Jalen Brown to pick up the scraps because every time that Jalen Brown has failed down and has not shown up in games, Tatum has been there for him since the get-go. When Brown was struggling, when he was in foul trouble at times in these playoffs last year and this year, who was there? Jason Tatum. Game 6 against Milwaukee in 2022, when their backs were against the wall, against Milwaukee, down 3-2 on the road in Milwaukee. Jalen Brown did not show up. Jason Tatum showed up and scored over 40 points in that game. Was a beast. In Game 7, Jason Tatum was a monster. And then getting to the NBA Finals, like I said, Jalen Brown was a shell of himself. He was inconsistent up and down. And then fast forward, and then after the finals, Brown said, I'll take responsibility to, for contributing to the downfall of this team. We'll be back. We'll be better. And fast forward a year later, they got a new head coach, and Joe Mazzulla, after Ime Udoka took this team to the NBA Finals. Same core players, Marcus Smart, Al Horford, Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, and then you add a few other pieces to this team. You still had Derek White. You added, Brogdon and just all these different guys, that have been with this team for the past couple of years. I know I'm forgetting some players, but those are the main people. Tatum, those are the main people. Tatum, Brown, Smart, Horford. The list goes on and on and on. But obviously, at the center of this all was Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum, because they were the one, or Tatum was the one, Brown was the number 2. And this year, Boston, for the most part, I say keywords for the most part, they were the best team in the NBA. When their heads, were in the clear, when they were thinking, clearly, they did not get ahead of themselves, and they were laser sharp focused. And for the most part, during this year, they were the best team in the NBA. And when you look at the full body of work that Boston had this year, for the most part, they were a good team. But as we all know, Joey, later on in the season this year, they had that ugly loss against the Washington Wizards. And we're like, what is going on? Like, you're losing to teams that you should be beating, that you should be steamrolling over, that you should be annihilating. And time after time, for the last couple of weeks, they were constantly inconsistent, up and down. They were good, they were bad, and they were downright damn ugly, was the Celtics at times during the second half of the season after the All-Star break. And then the playoffs roll around. Boston, for the first couple of rounds, was rocking and rolling. They were taking care of business. They were doing their thing, thanks to, predominantly because of Miami for dispatching Milwaukee in the first round in 5 games. And the Celtics took care of their first couple of rounds. And then they get to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Miami Heat, the same foes that they faced last year that they beat on the road in Miami in Game 7. And when you look at the body of work in this, especially in the conference finals, Jalen Brown is the reason why the Celtics did not advance to the NBA Finals. Jalen Brown is the reason why this team Joey, we were all watching this game in Game 6, or, this series in general. Who was the center of the first 3 losses to these in this Eastern Conference Finals? Jalen Brown. He was the main reason, basically. Yeah, Tatum had a reason in this as well, because he was turning the ball over very badly and being very inconsistent, and just wasn't, keeping his eye literally on the ball, and just making ugly decisions. And Jalen Brown, after the first 3 games, started to make some progress. And in the next couple of games, Game 6, he was pretty good. But when the chips are on the table, you are 48 minutes from history, from being the first team to beat any NBA team, trailing 3-0 in any series. You have home court, Game 7 on your home floor. And yes, Jason Tatum went out with the gruesome ankle injury in the first minute of Game 7 against Miami. But what has any NBA team done when a star athlete goes down, or when any athlete goes down in any sport, for that matter, football, baseball, basketball, hockey? It doesn't make it down. What has any star player or any player done when called upon? When their star guy goes down, they step up. Jalen Brown was the Robin to Tatum's Batman. He was the second head guy in charge, and he did not show up in Game 7 because the game was still in reach. They were still down by at least 10 to 15 points. And the NBA, no lead is safe, as we all know. And Jalen Brown, when the pressure was on his back, he crumbled under pressure. He was not looking for his shots. He was throwing up brick after bricks, forcing shots when they shouldn't have been there, turning the basketball over. And God bless Jason Tatum for having the balls to be out there with a bad ankle, basically, figuratively, and literally speaking, a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. That's what Jason Tatum was in Game 7 against Miami on Memorial Day. and Jalen Brown did not show up. And the reason why Jalen Brown is getting this contract is because they see the good more than they see the bad. And I understand that Jalen Brown is a top-tier athlete in the NBA. He is incredibly athletic. He can dunk, he can shoot, he can do all that stuff. But what he can't do is show up in critical moments when it matters the most. It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. The contract that he has gotten. I mean, I have not looked up the full deal just yet, but Joey, I'm pretty sure you have seen these numbers. I've seen some of these numbers. It is ridiculous. I remember one number that is staggering. At the end of the 2028-29 season, he's going to be making $70 million. I mean, are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? He's making more money in the long run than Jason Tatum is. And he ain't done shit. It's ridiculous how these players are demanding money. Go ahead. You got the numbers in front of you.
Yeah, see, I'm trying to find it right here because I remember seeing it.
I remember reading some of these numbers. I mean, I think not this upcoming season, but next year, that's when the deal kicks in. And if I remember correctly reading, he's going to be making $52 million. It is bullshit. Bullshit. The money he's making when he hasn't done nothing in the long run. Win a championship, do something for your team, and then make your money. Just aggravates me to no end how everybody in all of the fourth North American regions of sports demands the money. It gets paid said money, and then 9 times out of 10, they just start just foaming it in. Oh well, I got my money.
And here's the one thing that baffles me. Nikola Jokic.
Yes.
Finals MVP.
Yes.
NBA champion last year. He agreed to a $270 million deal.
But unlike Jalen Brown, Joey, he's actually done something.
Exactly. I was just about to say he's the one that's done something. Yep. All right, and you know what? Here we go. I just found it right here. Here, this was a tweet sent out by Bobby Marks, sports reporter, as of 11:07 yesterday. Here is the breakdown on the Jalen Brown Supermax extension in Boston. Listen to these numbers.
Okay.
2024-25 NBA season. He will be making $52,368,085. The next year, $56,557,532. The next year, $60,746,979. The next year, $64,936,425. And then on the last year of the deal, the 2028-2029 NBA season, $69,125,872.
Absolute ridiculous
crap at its highest level. Jalen Brown is not worth this much money. No, now, unless he improves drastically on the court, I would say maybe he would be worth it. But as of right now, he's not worth it.
And when you look at this Boston Celtics team this year for the past 3 seasons, even the last 5 to 6 seasons, they are not the same team, and they will not be the same team this upcoming season. Because what has carried the Celtics team the past couple of years? Defense. Marcus Smart.
Yep.
Marcus Smart was the anchor of that defense. He made Jason Tatum play defense. He made Jalen Brown play defense. Al Horford, as we all know, is a credible defender himself for the most part. But Marcus Smart was the anchor of this defense. And now that he's gone and Chris Porzingis is there, this Celtics team will not play an inch of defense. God, I'm so fired up. Go ahead.
And get this. Boston's star player, Jason Tatum, has 2 years, $67.5 million left on his contract with Boston, which means that once that contract runs out, which they'll probably talk extension next year, Tatum will be in line for a max worth 35% of that total salary cap, which means that putting numbers together quickly, Jason Tatum could be in line for about a $320, possibly $330 million supermax extension. Which honestly, that would be an investment because Jason Tatum is a playmaker. Jason Tatum is a proven leader. Jason Tatum knows what to do on a basketball court, unlike his partner in crime, his cohort, Jalen Brown.
Exactly. I mean, this deal, because I remember going into this show yesterday before we had to move it to today, I'm just sitting there going, what the hell is there to talk about? Because, as we all know, next week we're going to be starting our, divisional season previews. But, oh, my goodness gracious. I mean, at least on the NFL side of things, Justin Herbert has actually done something. He's went to the playoffs. Jalen Brown, he's been to the playoffs.
Yeah.
But unlike Brown, Justin Herbert for the Chargers has produced consistently for the most part. It is just mind-boggling the money that Brown will be making in the next 5 seasons. Because honestly, I don't think Jason Tatum is going to be sticking around that much longer unless he takes a huge pay cut. This is ridiculous. The money that these athletes are now making, the ones that are demanding this money, 9 times out of 10 are not worth diddly squat.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is just incredible.
And here is the clincher to the Jalen Brown contract. You know how some star players, whenever they get traded, or just players in general, whenever they get traded to another team, usually they take over most of that contract that's left that player signed? Well, here's the kicker. Boston is going to be the one paying Jalen Brown all this money because another clause of that Supermax contract extension that he signed, there is a no trade clause that he cannot waive to go to another team just in case he ever wants to leave Boston, which means that until he gets that full money that Boston offered him as part of that Supermax contract, he will not be leaving to go elsewhere. So he is pretty much stuck with Boston for the next 5 years. And if there's ever a time that he wants out of Boston before that 5-year run is up, he can't go nowhere because he cannot waive that no trade clause to anybody.
Right.
So Boston made a mistake. They made a mistake.
Yes, a huge mistake that they're going to be paying hefty for the next 5 years because this team is not going to be the same team, 5 years down the line, let alone in the next couple of years. especially the next couple of years. I mean, this contract, it is just absurd. It's stupid. Complete stupid. And if any fan has a problem with this contract, or if any fan does not have a problem with this contract, then by all means, speak your mind, speak your opinion. But I'm sorry, this is ridiculous.
Very ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Absolute ridiculous. It's just crazy, crazy. And, and talking about these contracts, I mean, I think in the long run, Justin Herbert's deal is going to outdo Jalen Brown's from a performance-wise.
Yeah, for sure.
Here's an interesting article I just stumbled upon. The 5 free agent moves in the NBA offseason that make the total sense. Here's one.
Interesting.
So, first one, Grant Williams goes to the Mavericks.
Yep.
Bruce Brown goes to the Pacers. Next, Prince goes to the Lakers. I don't even know how the hell you say this name. The guy that went to Phoenix. Starts with a I cannot pronounce this. How did the hell these people come up with these names?
I don't know. It's interesting to me.
But the guy that goes to W.A. Watnub, whatever the hell, goes to Phoenix. Big guy. Okay. And then Niang, whatever, goes to Cleveland. Again, who the hell comes up with these names? Okay. Some of these trades, some of these signings are, as MJF would say, mid.
Mid.
Mid. But Grant Williams going to the Mavericks is a good move. I like that move.
Oh yeah.
That's a good move. But yeah, I do want to talk about this because, we touched upon it last week with the running back situation, because as we all know, Saquon Barkley and Tony Pollard and Josh Jacobs, respectively, did not get those long-term deals. And we talked about this last week, and we railed against, teams that are not looking at the running backs and all of that. And obviously reports came down this past weekend that running backs met on Zoom to talk about the next move and how to take a stand on what to do to get running backs paid. Because as we all know, running backs are a huge part of the team. I mean, and as we all know, 30 plus years ago, Herschel Walker had a huge contract with the Dallas Cowboys, and then Dallas traded him to Minnesota, and then the Vikings took upon that huge contract that Walker signed with Dallas. And running backs back then were making huge money. LT, LaDainian Tomlinson made his money. Adrian Peterson made his money. And hell, even like Darren Sproles, he made his money. Corey Dillon made his money. Joseph Adai, for the Indianapolis Colts, and Edgin James, for the Colts, and what's his?
Oh yeah, I think I don't mean to cut you off there, Stephen, but I think I found let's see, it was Georgia's Niang.
Niang, thank you. That was for Cleveland, yes.
Then you said there was one for Philly, or did you say Phoenix?
Phoenix.
Shemezi Matu.
Jesus, these names, I swear. I can't even pronounce that. Shemezi Matu. Okay. Anyways, thank you for the clarification. So again, folks, we are live here on YouTube on a special Wednesday edition of our Nation Sports Show. Normally, we are live on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 6 Central, 4 p.m. Pacific time. But tonight we decided to change it up and go live, like I said, at 6:30. And again, follow us on Twitter at @ON_sports show, Facebook.com/Nation Sports Show, and where we are live right now on YouTube.com/Our Nation Sports Show. And don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that like button and share this video with your family and your friends that are into sports. And starting next Tuesday, when we have our crew back on the show, yes, football is around the corner, baby, as we are getting so close, and we can unofficially say, I should say, that next Tuesday starts the full sprint as we are going to be covering football top to bottom for the rest of the year in the next year. And of course, everything else going on in the NBA, MLB, and so on and so forth. And next week, we start our divisional previews as we start previewing, of course, as we always start doing with the AFC South and the AFC North. So be sure to check that out next Tuesday, as we will be live at our normally scheduled time at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, 4 p.m. Pacific time. And don't forget to follow the Nation's Corner on Twitter at Nation's Corner. Everywhere else on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, it is at the Nation's Corner. And getting back to the running backs discussion, I mean, it's pretty safe to say that, in our opinions, running backs deserve equal amount of treatment that the quarterbacks get, that the receivers get, that the corners get, that the defenders get, and even the kickers get. Because the staggering numbers, I mean, it's out there. And it's just amazing how kickers are getting paid more money than the running backs are. The star running backs.
The average salary that kickers are going to be making is just over $2 million, whereas the running backs, $1.85 million.
And that is not enough. Not enough.
No, it is not. And I understand, like we said last week, I know that most contracts tend to go downhill after they sign them because something happens or they don't play like they're worth it, yada, yada, yada. I understand that. We see it all the time, no matter what sport it is. But you can't downgrade a position because you've had 1, 2, possibly 3 bad contracts, when we've seen just as much, if not more, bad contracts rely on quarterbacks, receivers, and defensive players. But yet, you still see those 3 positions get more money compared to running backs. And it's just not fair. It's not fair at all. Especially when the running back is definitely worth it. Like your Saquon Barkleys, your Josh Jacobs, your Austin Ecklers. I mean, they're worth it. But you want to, I guess you could say, punish the running backs because of a couple bad contracts? I mean, where is the logic in that? Because I certainly don't see it.
Exactly. It's crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. And there is something that I want to bring up that I read the headline and it kind of caught me. Can Mike McCarthy stifle Dak Prescott's interception woes?
No.
The answer is simply no.
No.
No. No. No.
I mean, it's interesting that you brought up that name, Dak Prescott, because I happened to see something on Facebook the other day that just about made me want to roll on the floor laughing my absolute head off.
And what is that?
It was a quote from Dak Prescott himself that said, "Oh, I'm going to have less than 10 interceptions this season."
No!
I was like, bruh.
I know the season hasn't even started yet, but sorry, I gotta say it. What the hell, bro? I mean, are you kidding me? Are you living under a rock, Mr. Prescott?
Given his streak, he'll have 10 interceptions by like week 6, week 7.
Dude, I'm going to call it right now. Prescott is going to throw 20 interceptions.
As a matter of fact, let me pull up their 2023 schedule real quick.
Oh my God, that's fantastic.
I'm
going to throw less than 10 interceptions. Okay.
Let's
Put your money where your mouth is.
Giants week 1, I say maybe 1 pick. Jets, Sauce Gardner in the backfield, I say maybe 1. Cardinals, probably not a single one because the Cardinals are going to be absolute garbage. Patriots, I say maybe 1. Niners in San Francisco the following week, I'd say about 3. Chargers, maybe 2. Rams, maybe 2. Eagles, probably 3. So, I mean, yeah. That is if Dak Prescott doesn't get knocked out first. But even if he even if he does get knocked out at the early point of the regular season, he's still gonna lead the league in picks just like he did last year.
Mm-hmm. Let's just hope for his sake, and shout out to our buddy Kevin. Hopefully CeeDee Lamb can CD ball this upcoming season.
Oh my gosh, that's still one of the best one-liners in the history of our nation's sports show. Bravo, Kevin. Bravo.
As long as we've been around on this show since February of 21, that is the single greatest line in our nation's sports show history. And it will never, ever, ever, sorry, Jericho, be duplicated again.
Again.
And now back to the sports show. Anyways, so yeah. Prescott saying that, ooh, I'm going to have less than 10 interceptions. Hold my beer. Seriously, hold my friggin' beer. Come on. Come on. Do you have dummy written over your forehead, Dak? I think you do. And I'm sorry, Tony. I'm sorry, Neil. I'm sorry, Ari out there, all you Cowboys fans out there. I mean, I feel wait, whoa.
Sorry, not sorry.
I'm sorry that your quarterback has such a huge head up his ass. Like it's rearing its ugly head right now. I mean, unlike certain quarterbacks, Prescott only has 1 playoff victory. One. Just 1. Not 2, not 3, not 4. Oh wait, now I sound like LeBron. Damn it. I'm not doing the whole not 5, not 6 bullshit. Nope. No.
Now,
no.
And also, you can't say that Dak Prescott is the second best quarterback in the NFC East right now because of playoff appearances.
No.
It's about playoff wins. I mean, Daniel Jones, I know we ratted on him last week. I know we did.
Who?
But at least it didn't take him as long to get his first playoff win as it did Dak Prescott.
Right.
So at least he has that going for him. And yes, I know that most eyes are going to be on new Commanders quarterback Sam Howell this year, but he's only played 1 game. And even in that game, he demolished the Cowboys. Absolutely demolished them. So you can't really say that he's better than Sam Howell yet. Even though several out there might say he is because of Dak being in the NFL more years than Sam Howell, of course. But Dak Prescott has been in the league since, 2014, 2015? And you're telling me that in almost 10 years, he only has 1 playoff win? No.
Yeah.
Oh, and not to mention, last year, even when he was out for 6 weeks because of a big little thumb problem, he still leads the league in picks. He still leads the league in picks. Bruh. Bruh. That is a huge problem. Can you
Yeah.
say Jameis Winston 2.0?
Yes, I can. So very interesting that the NFL's top 100 list is slowly but surely coming out from this past season.
And there are several players that are in the top 100 list that weren't even included in the list last year.
That's right. And do you have those numbers and those guys in front of you? Because obviously the full list hasn't been revealed yet, but that will be slowly but surely revealed each passing day.
Let me see. I'm trying.
Because let me see. This is going to conclude on Monday, August 7th with 10-1. And this started on Monday, on the 24th. So this will be running from the 24th all the way to August 7th, where the top 100 players of 2023 will be revealed of the 2022-23 NFL season.
All right, let's see. Oh, but while I'm pulling that up, I do see something that could be interesting worth talking about. As of 1 hour ago, Aaron Rodgers has signed a new 2-year, $75 million guaranteed deal with the Jets through the 2024 season.
Oh, good. Good for him. He's out of his darkness retreatment.
True that.
Excellent. Excellent, Mr. Rodgers. You got paid. You got paid. Good for you. What a cookie.
Oh, and this is a tie for Ezra, which actually, this is a pretty good contract right here.
Yep.
The Bears and tight end Cole Kmet have agreed to a 4-year, $50 million extension.
Ooh.
Bravo, sir, and because he deserves it.
Get that money. You deserve
that money, bro.
You deserve it. Unlike Jalen Brown in the NBA.
Okay, let's see. Just about to. Oh boy.
Oh boy, what?
Cowboys agreed to a 5-year, $97 million contract extension with the guy who gets constantly burned all the time, cornerback Trevon Diggs.
Can you repeat that again, please?
5-year, $97 million contract extension with cornerback Trevon Diggs.
What? 5 years to get burnt like a barbecue dinner? Are you kidding me? Are you picking the day to let me go off like a freaking maniac on this show? I haven't done this in a while, but geez Louise, Trevon Diggs, you're paying him that kind of money? When he hasn't done nothing but been a consistent participant at getting barbecued or burnt to a crisp every time on the field. Go ahead.
Here we go. Top 100 players of 2023 as of now. Number 100, Devontae Smith of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Ooh, starting out hot.
Number 99, DeMarcus Lawrence from the Dallas Cowturds.
Oh, good for him.
Number 98, offensive guard Tristan Wirfs from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay.
Number 97, Harrison Smith from the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
Or you know what? I'm actually not going to go over every single list. I'm just going to throw some notable names for time purposes. Number 96, Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence.
Ooh, made the top 100. Good for him.
Number 94, Washington Commanders wide receiver Scary Terry McLaurin.
There you go.
Sir.
There you go.
Oh, and someone who made a huge drop from the number 31 spot back in the 2022 top 100, number 91, Minnesota Vikings running back Dalvin Cook.
Whoa. And as we all know, Dalvin Cook is no longer said Minnesota Viking.
That's right.
He's a free agent.
All right, 90 to 81, just some notables. Starting off with the banger, number 90, new Tennessee Titans wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins.
Okay. Yeah, because last year with Arizona, he was the most consistent piece to that offense.
Ooh, number 89, New Orleans Saints cornerback Marshawn Lattimore.
Ooh, okay.
Number 88, defensive end for the Detroit Lions, Aiden Hutchinson.
Okay. Not bad. Not bad. Cool.
Number 86, Chicago Bears quarterback Justin Fields.
All right. He's making his way up the ranks.
Let's see. Number 82, Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa.
All right. Tua probably would have been higher if he didn't get injured all that time last season.
Yeah. And let me see. And it's only going to number 80 right now. So this is going to be the last name that I bring up right now. Number 80, Baltimore Ravens tight end Mark Andrews.
Okay. But as I said, this will be going on for the next couple of weeks from July 24th, obviously, which started this week, and ending on August 7th with the final 10-1 countdown. And the full list will be out afterwards then, and we will reveal the full noticeable names that is on this list. So, with that being said, I did want to talk about yesterday's event that happened in Oakland with the Athletics and the Giants fans coming together for one purpose, and that is to unite the Bay. And shout outs to these fans all over the world that have supported their teams coming together for one big time cause, and that is to speak their mind at John Fisher, at Dave Kaval, for the corruption that they have bestowed upon the MLB. And very, very cool what these fans did yesterday.
Absolutely, but I don't mean to cut you off, Steven, but somebody actually just posted the list from 80 through 71 real quick.
Okay. Go ahead.
I want to run off a couple of these interesting names because some of these look very interesting.
Okay.
Number 79, linebacker for the San Francisco 49ers, Dre Greenlaw.
All right. Kevin, I know Kevin likes that.
Yep,
San Francisco representing in the top 100, especially with
right.
the defensive players.
Number 78, safety for the San Francisco 49ers, Mr. Tadanoa Hufanga.
Nice. Excellent.
Number 7, quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks, Geno Smith.
Ooh, number 77, huh? Wow.
Yes,
Look at Geno Smith right there.
Number 74, wide receiver for the New York Jets, Garrett Wilson.
I like it. I get that. Yeah. Because Garrett obviously had a great season last year for the Jets. And the Jets were in prime position to possibly get in the playoffs, but obviously they didn't.
Yeah. Number 73, the lone defensive star for the Arizona Cardinals, Budda Baker.
Ooh.
And the last name that I'm going to mention is a very interesting one. I think you might know this guy, Steven.
Oh, yeah?
He's the quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I think I've heard of that guy. I know who he is.
Yeah, he's number 72. So, yeah, those are some of the notable names.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Oh, my gosh. We got some delusional NFL fans.
Oh boy, what's up?
Very delusional. This guy says, spoilers, Kirk Cousins is number one.
No. Yeah, whoa, I take that back. He is number one at losing.
Number one at being the number one choke artist in primetime games.
Yes, because that's the last thing we're going to depend upon our life on this upcoming years. We're going to be depending upon Captain Kirk to get it done in prime time. Because guess what? It ain't happening, Captain.
Nope.
Nope. Nope.
But yeah, back to the Save the Bay.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I actually got to read about the actual Save the Bay event, and I saw that there was a near sellout crowd of just over 40,000 fans.
Wow.
In San Francisco's ballpark, all coming together in unison to chant teams such as, or to do chants such as "Sell the team," "Keep the A's in Oakland," "Fisher out," "Kaval out." So, I mean, even though we weren't able to get any awesome footage in regards to what all took place yesterday, just the fact that Oakland A's fans and San Francisco Giants fans come together in San Francisco, might I add, because the game was in San Francisco last night, just for those fans to come together and stand together in unison to keep the Oakland A's in Oakland was just very, very worth it.
Very cool. Very cool.
Oh, but I do want to bring this up since we are talking about Save the Bay. I actually happened to see something on the ESPN app a few weeks ago, and I meant to bring this up a few weeks ago whenever I first saw it. But if the move to Las Vegas does happen for the A's, they are saying that even if they start building it right now, they're saying that the new stadium for the Las Vegas A's, if they're going to be called that,
Yep.
will not even be done until the 2028 season.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. They're saying that's when the new stadium will be done, by 2028. And I'm like, that's pathetic.
That is ridiculous.
I mean, they can keep the A's in Oakland and make a Las Vegas team by then. So, I mean, it just makes me wonder. I mean, and who knows? John Fisher and Dave Kaval might actually not be the owners of the A's anymore by that time rolls around. So, I mean, I would love for Oakland to stay in Oakland because it's always rough for a sports city that has been known for years as the home of an NBA franchise to just lose its team like it's nothing. I mean, look at Seattle, for example, when they lost the Supersonics.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at the Atlanta hockey team, the Thrashers, whenever they moved to Winnipeg to become the Winnipeg Jets.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we see sports. We see cities lose sports teams all the time nowadays.
Cleveland lost their football team, and then they got it back, and then they got it back. And and Oakland, the Raiders themselves, before they went to LA and then back to Oakland, they were in Oakland all those years. They stayed in the California region, for years in Oakland and Los Angeles, moved back to Oakland, and then they made the ultimate FU move and went to Vegas. Go ahead.
Absolutely. And another team that should be very familiar to us, the New Jersey Nets.
That's right. Going to Brooklyn.
Yeah, being moved over to Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
or
we see it happen all the time.
Here's a good one for you. The Lakers going from Minnesota to Los Angeles.
Yep.
That's a major one.
That's a huge one.
And another one on a more lighter one, The Grizzlies went from Vancouver to Memphis.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So yeah,
The Houston Oilers
Yep.
moving to Tennessee to become the Titans.
Yep. And when you look at the grand scheme of things, like what Fisher and what Kaval is thinking, this is just ridiculous. Because Eddie Trunk, I was listening to his show the other day, and Eddie brought up a great point, and he's predominantly a rock and metal talk show. But Eddie's also a lifelong sports fan. He's a Giants fan. And Eddie talked about this because, at this time of the year in Vegas, it's over 100 degrees. It's hot as hell. It's the summertime. Who in their right mind in the summertime wants to go to Las Vegas, Nevada, and be in the blistering sun in the heat at a baseball game in the month of July, in the month of August, when it's still hot as hell? And I'm going to look it up right now while we're on the air. So right now, as I speak right here, and the time right now is 7:41 Eastern, 4:41 Pacific time in Las Vegas. It is 112 degrees. Yep. We were almost in unison with that one. 112 degrees. The humidity is
even
10%.
at 11 o'clock tonight, it's going to be 100 degrees.
Humidity is 10%. It is crazy hot in Vegas. Dry as can be. Nobody wants to be. You have to be thinking as a rational fan, not just of sports, but even of music. Because the one downside to having concerts in hot states and hot climates is it's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. It's going to be just horrible. Because then again, you also got to look at it from another perspective. 10% humidity in 110 degree heat to them may sound like 80 degrees. Right.
Whereas here, where I'm at right now, it's 88 degrees, but the humidity is 54%.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's still not bad, but at the same time, it's a whole lot more than 10%.
Oh, yeah. And when you look at the grand scheme of things, I mean, look at where we're at right now with this heat. It's insane. You have to think logical that nobody wants to sit out there in traffic at 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon on the West Coast and go to a baseball game. You're crazy. Like, you got to be a diehard fan to want to sit through that. Because
you better bring that SPF 100 sunscreen.
You better be staying cool and drink plenty of water at a hot, humid game. And it is crazy right now with the heat right now that's going on, in like Texas and Arizona and in Florida, and parts of the Carolinas and New York and and Utah, and I mean, just, especially Texas. I mean, it's so hot in Texas. And it was so hot in Phoenix the other night that Disturbed couldn't do their concert. They didn't feel it safe because their equipment wasn't working right. And I don't blame them. Like if it's so hot and humid out there, and your equipment's not working, you don't want to take the chance and possibly your equipment could blow up on you, and stuff like that. So.
And the other night when Jason Aldean just ran off the stage because he got heat exhaustion.
It happens.
It gets hot out there, y'all.
Yeah. Even when I went to the Godsmack and Stain concert last week, even Celiona from Godsmack was like, dude, it's hot as fuck up here. Those were his exact words. It was humid out there. It was pretty hot. And it's even hotter. It's even hotter up there on stage because they got all the lights and stuff, and all that, the light show going on and all that stuff. I mean, like, it's hot, and that's the one downside that these outside concerts, the sound may be
events in general.
The outside sound may be great and all, but good Lord, like it's hot.
Absolutely.
Like, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
But there is one place where it's even hotter on the inside than it is on the outside, and this is going to be, I think, the final main subject to talk about tonight, and that is the fact that it is now official. The Washington Commanders have officially been sold and voted on unanimously by the other NFL owners to the group led by Josh Harris that also includes NBA Hall of Famer Mr. Magic Johnson for the $6.05 billion.
And thank God. And I'm glad you brought that up, because the cancer that is Daniel Snyder
Is finally gone.
gone.
He gave us 24 years of absolute misery, absolute failure.
Yep. Not a lot of years of success. Not a lot of years of going to the playoffs. They haven't won a Super Bowl since they were the Washington Redskins in 1991-92.
Yep.
It's been hell. It's literally been hell on earth for the now Commanders. And Dan Snyder has put you guys through a lot of misery. And I know you talked to us about this, on show and off the show in our chat, that you are very happy that Dan Snyder is gone.
Oh, I'm absolutely happy. I mean, the fact that we no longer have to hear Dan Snyder's name floating around the Washington organization anymore just thrills me. It thrills me to death. And I am excited. I am ecstatic to see what this group led by Josh Harris is going to do.
Exactly.
I'm very ecstatic.
And there's another move that I want to bring up that came down the pipeline, when it comes to official sales, and that revolves in the NBA. That Michael Jordan's sale of the Charlotte Hornets has been complete.
That's right. He sold the Hornets for, I believe it was, what, $3 billion?
Yes. And there's one major thing that I'm glad that I'm glad I reminded myself of, that I quickly want to talk about. And that is the fact that a couple of days ago, our very own HiJacker Mike posted on Twitter that there was a fan, and even Gabriel posted about this on Twitter as well. There was a fan at a Seattle Mariners game that had one of those hashtag sell the team shirts. And somebody at the ballpark said, "Hey, you got to take that shirt off." Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Like, that is ridiculous. We live in America, damn it, where you can express yourself. We have the freedom to wear, to say whatever we want to do, or say whatever. Come on. This is ridiculous. I mean, he was wearing this shirt and expressing all of our sentiments on this show, that you and me and Ezra, Kevin, Randy, and obviously his father, William, and everybody out there, Ezra, all of us that host this show, Ezra, you, me, Kevin, Randy, all of us, we do not want corruption to rule in the world of sports. But unfortunately, it rears its ugly head once again.
Exactly. And it's very interesting because, and I cannot believe I'm actually about to do this, but he doesn't know what the First Amendment is. Or I'm pretty sure it's the First Amendment, but even if it's not, I don't really care. But the fact of the matter is, everybody has freedom of religion, assembly, praise, petition, and speech. And this whole thing with sell the team right now is technically part of a tie-in between petition, because you're trying to keep the A's in Oakland, and freedom of speech. Hashtag sell the team. And apparently he doesn't understand that. And it's
ridiculous.
Sad.
It's ridiculous. Complete stupid. I mean, to tell a fan, hey, you have to take off that shirt. What a bunch of crap.
Exactly.
What a bunch of crap. And sidetrack, I know this is not related to sports, but I have to talk about this just because, okay. and Joey, you'll get where I'm going with this. And I know some of us have talked about this off the show. Last week in Vegas, of all places, Miranda Lambert was playing in Vegas, and she shunned fans saying, "Oh, you're not paying attention to me. I'm up here singing a song for all of you guys." And if a fan wants to stand in the front row and take a selfie with their friends or their family, they're just capturing the moment on what they're doing. Oh, how dare you take a picture or a selfie at my concert? Freedom to do whatever you want.
Exactly.
Stupid. Complete stupid. To just be very shitty to fans saying, "Oh, how dare you?" Show the world how you're having a good time. A picture takes what, 5 seconds?
Exactly. I mean, how dare them to take a picture or take a selfie during the concert? How dare you, Miranda Lambert, to completely just stop whatever you're doing to blast these two girls who were just happy to be taking a selfie during one of your songs?
And
how dare you?
And there was footage captured that after the song got going again, because she restarted the song. I mean, come on. There was footage of fans leaving the place. I don't blame them.
I don't blame them either.
Are you kidding me? Now I am a proponent of, when you are at a show, live in the moment, be in the moment. But if you want to capture footage of a show, of a song or two, okay, be my guest. That's fine. That's fine. Take a picture.
Absolutely.
That's fine. That's fine. You're at a show. You're having fun. You're away from your personal life. You're away from the drama that goes on or the craziness that is called life. You're at a concert. You're having a good time. And that is ridiculous to me. How?
Yeah.
And that harkens back to the Mariners game, where this fan was demanded by somebody at the Seattle ballpark, "Hey, you got to take that shirt off. Put something else on." What if the fan didn't have a backup shirt? What's he going to do?
Exactly.
They're shirtless? Are you kidding me?
Exactly. But real quick, I want to give a huge shout out in the chat to Mr. Big T, who is watching us live.
Big T! What's up, buddy?
Big T?
I know Big T is very excited for football to be returning, my brother.
Yes, sir.
And just as a quick reminder, folks, we will be starting next Tuesday on the 1st of August, or as the song goes, 1st of the month. Bone Thugs and Harmony reference right there for you, just in case you didn't know that. So yeah, a little hip hop reference for you there, baby.
Nice.
But starting next Tuesday, we will be live at our regular scheduled day of Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, 4 p.m. Pacific time, as we begin our NFL
of the NFL season.
That is right, baby. Football is back.
And again, just to plug it in, what Esther said last week.
Plug it in.
Yeah. Yes, we're going to give y'all what you really want, what you really, really want.
Hey, there you go. Got him.
Oh, and I do want to go ahead and point out that next Thursday, NFL football will officially be back with the 2023 Hall of Fame game that will see the Cleveland Browns take on the New York Jets live from Canton, Ohio.
Very nice. Very, very nice. So again, folks, we are so excited to be back next week with football coverage. And the fun begins with the AFC South and the AFC North divisions, breaking those divisions down. And we are so excited to be back talking football. It seemed like an eternity, but my goodness gracious, are we terribly excited to be bringing you our wall-to-wall coverage of the 2023-24 NFL season. The preseason begins next Thursday, and we are so excited. And we are even more excited to be having our favorite segment on this sports show starting in September. That is the pick segment. And our
Yes,
very own
sir.
Kevin Rory is the defending champion. K-Rod Kevin Rory is the defending champion for the NFL Picks Battle, and he will be putting on that crown against yours truly, Ezra, and you, Joey, and our buddy Randy. Because we
That's
know
right.
Randy wants to be back involved with this because, I mean, as we all know, Randy is a fan of the Las Vegas Raiders and partial owner Thomas Edward Patrick Brady. Yeah. Had to plug that in. Yeah.
Actually, no. He's not a fan of the CFL's Toronto Argonauts.
Oh. Oh, he's a
Because he
fan
don't
of
want anything to do with Tom Brady anymore.
he's a fan of somebody. He's a fan of a team from Canada there, eh? But God, goodness gracious, it's been fun tonight.
Yes,
You know,
tonight, and I think I'm pretty much out of stuff to talk about. So I guess we can go and close it up.
I think I'm done for the night because, man, in a few minutes, it's Wednesday. You know what that means?
That means, gentlemen, ladies and
AEW
gentlemen.
Dynamite. It's
Yes,
fixing to
it
be
is.
live on the air. And don't forget to check out the Nation's Corner on excuse me, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm so excited.
On YouTube.
Don't forget that. Thank you. Don't forget to follow the Nation's Corner on their social media platforms on Twitter at Nation's Corner. Everywhere else on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, it is at the Nation's Corner. And don't forget to check out. Go ahead.
And also to toss a little bit about AEW, you might, and for all you AEW and just wrestling fans out there in general, you might want to check out this upcoming Saturday's episode of AEW Collision.
Yes.
Because you will see FTR put the AEW tag belts on the line against AEW heavyweight champion MJF and his partner Adam Cole.
Baby. Yes.
Baby.
And don't like I said, don't forget to check out the Nation's Corner this Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, 4 p.m. Pacific time on youtube.com/the Nation's Corner. And man, oh man, it's getting hot, baby. It's getting hot because Dynamite is fixing to happen. And
It's
also,
getting hot.
I wouldn't be remiss if I didn't bring this up, but Mission Pro Wrestling will be holding their event in a couple of weeks as Izzy will be making her professional wrestling in-ring debut
Nice.
on August 12th against Jasmine Allure. It's going to be fantastic.
Nice. And I do want to point out that it has finally arrived. I have talked about it over the past several weeks, and it is now coming up this weekend that I will be in Raleigh for Galaxy Con.
Nice.
Where I will get to meet wrestlers such as Orange Cassidy, Britt Baker, Mick Foley, Ric Flair, Bret the Hitman Hart, Matt and Jeff Hardy. Dude, can you
That's
see
a list.
excitement?
That's a list. And I want you to come on the
Say
show next week and
excitement.
talk about this because I know this is going to be a lot of fun. And if you are in the Raleigh or North Carolina area, go to this if tickets are still available. And
I will say that the only tickets that are available as of right now are for Thursday, single day, Friday, single day, and Sunday, single day.
Thank
Everything
you.
else is sold out.
Sorry about your damn luck if you didn't get your tickets. Oh, James Storm reference. I love it. And don't forget to go to TitleMatchNetwork.com for all the details on how to for watching Mission Pro in a couple weeks as Izzy makes her debut against Jasmine Allure. And it's been a great show with you, Joey. Can't wait to have Ezra back on next week. Can't wait to have our buddy Kevin back on next week.
Yes, sir. But
And,
until then, enjoy the rest of the week. Enjoy time with friends, family, whatever you choose to do. That is going to be it for me tonight. So, Steven, close it out, brother.
And I wouldn't be remiss if I didn't bring this up. Happy birthday to you, my brother. You got a birthday coming up this weekend. So with that being
That's
said,
right. I'm going to be the big 31 on Sunday.
So with that-
thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
not a problem. With that being said, as FTR would say, top guys out. We are done. We are set. Game, set, match is complete. The full crew will be back with us next Tuesday as we begin our NFL division previews with the AFC South and the AFC North. Again, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Owen_Sports Show, Facebook.com/Nation Sports Show, and where we are live on most Tuesday nights, YouTube.com/Nation Sports Show. And again, don't forget to check out the Nation's Corner on this Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, as the guys and gal break down all things professional wrestling. And don't forget to check out AEW Collision from Connecticut this Saturday as FTR takes on Adam Cole, baby. And MJF, the AEW World Champion, for the AEW Tag Team Championships. And with that being said, AEW Dynamite is alive. And we have been live. And we are out. Don't forget to have a great time this weekend with your family and your friends. Enjoy the sports. Enjoy the wrestling. And be back next week, baby, as we begin our NFL season coverage. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. Be happy. Be blessed. Be good to one another. Stay humble. Stay good. And take care, everybody. Peace.